You know, I'm the new WBC middleweight world champion. You know, usually if a champion don't want to fight, it's mandatory. Then he gets stripped of the title. But at this level, Canelo has done a lot for the WBC, and they wanted to keep him a champion. So they moved a new belt in called the franchise champion. That, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
So Jamall Charlo pretty much confirmed that the WBC stripped Canelo Alvarez of the full version of the world title, but elevated him to franchise champion because they didn't want to lose Canelo Alvarez as a champion. Blessed love and blessed day, boxing world, boxing nation, fighting world, fighting nation. It's Coach Fire and this is Real Life Boxing. Again, Jamall Charlo confirms that the WBC stripped Canelo Alvarez of the regular full version of the title. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask you guys to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you could be notified when new content is being uploaded, and you could be notified when we are going live. Now, Jamall Charlo, who has a fight this weekend against Brian Adams, he was doing an interview with, I believe it's Fight Hype TV, and they asked him these questions. What do you feel about Canelo Alvarez being elevated to the franchise champion and you getting the full version? He said, you know, he's a world champion now. He doesn't really have time to focus on that and so forth. He has to get ready for his fight. But he stated that Canelo has done great things for the sport of boxing and such, and that the WBC did not want to lose him as a champion. So instead of just stripping him of the full version of the world title, they elevated him up to a franchise. So they're just making up shit as they go. They made up the franchise championship and elevated Canelo to franchise status so that they would not lose Canelo as a champion. Now, I want to remind you guys of something. Let me see how many of you guys remember this. Canelo at one point in his career got pissed off with the WBC, vacated the title, and said to hell with them. That was, I believe, when he was the 154-pound WBC champion, and the WBC had made Triple G his mandatory. Triple G was then the interim. He was the interim WBC, right? So the WBC made Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, mandatory, right? And Canelo said, to hell with you guys. I don't got to fight this guy. I do what I want. Vacated the belt, pulled the Riddick Bowe move, and threw the belt in the trash pretty much. The WBC sent him on his merry way and told him that they wish him the best of luck in his career. I don't know if you guys remember that. This wasn't that long ago. Maybe 2016. Now, since then, the WBC has got back on the Canelo bandwagon. They want to do no wrong in the eyes of Canelo Alvarez. Now, we got to remember the WBC is Mexican-based. Mauricio Suleiman, his dad, I believe his name was Jose Suleiman, but the Suleiman family, Mexican-based. So they want to do no wrong by Canelo Alvarez. They've been through this before, all right? They mandated Canelo Alvarez to fight Triple G, and Canelo did not want to fight Triple G at the time. He said, you know, he didn't want to be controlled or told what to do. And you guys could look this up. I might, if I have time, I might, you know, hang the article up in the video. Maybe you'll see it pop up. I'm going off the top right now, you know what I mean? No editing, so but you still might see the video pop up if I have time. So you can see this article. Canelo said, I'm not going to be forced into a time slot. I'm not going to be forced into doing things that I don't want to do. I will fight Gennady Golovkin when I'm ready, and I think I'm going to fight him at 160 pounds. He vacated his WBC title, and then he moved up. That is what made Gennady Golovkin the full version of the full version of the WBC title. I'll drop the link. I'll definitely put the link for that article in the video. But the WBC has been through this before with Canelo Alvarez. So this time, you guys seen a lot of videos. I talk about it in a lot of videos. Jamall Charlo has literally been, he's been Canelo Alvarez's mandatory WBC. He's been Triple G's mandatory, all right, WBC. He was Triple G's mandatory WBC before Canelo won the last fight and got the belts. He's been Canelo's mandatory. So he's had his fair share of being mandatories and not getting the fights. So this time, you know, the WBC must have looked at it and said, man, well, we got to do something because, you know, Charlo's been patiently waiting. So instead of stripping Canelo, you know, fully, they strip him of the world title but name him franchise title. Now, let's talk about this franchise title business. I was talking about this with Coach Kill from Kill's Corner. It doesn't make sense because they're giving him a status, you know, as if he's like, you know, retired Hall of Fame fighter, which he probably is going to be a Hall of Fame fighter, but he's not retired yet. How are you giving him a championship status that he can't even lose? He can't even lose this in a fight. So let's say he's the franchise champion and Charlo is the you know, the world champion. If Charlo beats Canelo, he doesn't become the franchise champion. He gets a diamond belt. All right, he gets a diamond belt. Let's say somebody else. If somebody else fights Canelo, who's not a champion, because as of right now, Charlo is the full world champion. So let's say somebody else who's not a champion that fights Canelo. Let's say they beat Canelo, they don't gain the status of franchise champion. He still keeps the status of franchise champion. So you guys are giving out championship titles that you can't even fight for. You know what I mean? That you can't even be contended for, which that just doesn't make sense, right? If someone's not a champion and they fight him, they don't win the status of franchise champion, but they get pushed to the mandatory of the full version of the world title and they get a diamond belt. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, these guys are making stuff up as they go. The most prestigious green and gold, right? I want you guys to tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section. Now, you got some other guys, they're going to spin the narrative, right? They're going to say, oh, Canelo's not ducking Jamall Charlo. Why would he be ducking Jamall Charlo? Who is Jamall Charlo? What does Jamall Charlo have to offer? Why would he be ducking Jamall Charlo? Jamall Charlo hasn't fought anyone. That's the narrative, you know what I mean, that they try to spin. But how can Jamall Charlo fight anyone when no one wants to fucking fight him? Huh? He's been given his mandatories. Nobody wants to fight him. So we got to get away from that style of thinking, all right? Oh, he's nobody because nobody wants to fight him. He hasn't beaten anybody yet. Well, maybe if the top fighters that are champions in the division would give him a fucking fight, you know, maybe this guy can get his name, you know, set in some stone, set in a wall of greatness, you know what I mean, set in history. And that's the thing. Jamall Charlo, he doesn't want to be given a world champion. Yeah, he's happy he can call himself a world champion, but he still doesn't have the names on his resume. He doesn't have the big names on his resume that will give him the big fights. So now, you know, he's the champion, but okay, where's the big names at? You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be just given title belts. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I can tell you what's probably going to happen. Look out for a showdown between Jamall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade for undisputed middleweight champion. Protect yourself at all times. Peace and one love. So if you like this video and you would like to see more great content like this on the channel, go to the PayPal link or the Cash App link in the description and show your appreciation by donating any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. This is Real Life Boxing.